Some countries just have the whole tourism thing figured out, and the numbers don't lie. One country welcomed more than 100 million international visitors last year, but it's far from the only destination attracting travelers by the millions. These aren't just popular vacation spots. They're the countries that keep topping travel rankings, filling hotels months in advance, and drawing visitors back year after year. A few entries might surprise you, but every country on this list has become a global tourism heavyweight. Let's see which destinations attracted the most visitors. Number 12. China mainland. 27 million sounds enormous until you actually look at what China puts on the table. The country holds more UNESCO World Heritage Sites than almost anywhere else on Earth, covers landscapes ranging from Himalayan peaks to subtropical coastline, and serves up cities where Tang Dynasty temples share postcodes with skylines that look borrowed from science fiction. Beijing, Shanghai, and Xi'an handle most international itineraries, but travelers who push further west and south find a country that keeps getting more interesting the deeper you go. Independent travel presents real language challenges, though the tourism infrastructure improves at a pace that matches the visitor numbers. Number 11. Thailand. Thailand cracked the formula for mass tourism appeal so thoroughly that the country sometimes feels like it runs entirely on visitor energy. Bangkok delivers cultural overload with ornate temples sitting minutes from street food markets operating around the clock, and a nightlife scene that treats sleep as an optional lifestyle choice. Head north, and Chiang Mai offers cooler temperatures, mountain scenery, and a pace that is centuries removed from the capital. The southern islands handle beach culture across a wide range of party intensities, so choosing the right one matters considerably. Affordability keeps the country accessible to backpackers, while a growing luxury infrastructure serves everyone at the opposite end of the budget spectrum. Number 10. Greece. Ancient history, island beaches, and Mediterranean food culture bundled into one package that Europe has been selling successfully for decades. Athens carries serious historical weight that centuries of tourist traffic haven't worn down. And the Acropolis still manages to stop people mid-stride, despite appearing on approximately every travel calendar ever printed. The islands each run on their own distinct personality, which helps. Santorini handles caldera views and Instagram pressure with remarkable composure. Crete is large enough to absorb weeks of exploration without covering the same ground twice. Mykonos parties hard enough to fully justify its reputation. Travelers who skip the famous names entirely often find a quieter, cheaper, and more satisfying Greece waiting on islands that never make the postcards. Number 9. Japan. Japan's tourism boom caught regular visitors off guard, and the country handled the sudden international attention with the kind of calm efficiency that you'd expect. Tokyo is for slow exploration, with neighborhoods shifting personality every few blocks, surprising you just as you think you have finally figured the city out. Kyoto carries the cultural weight through enough temples, shrines, and traditional districts to also fill weeks of wandering. The bullet train network turns geography into a minor inconvenience, connecting wildly different regions at speeds that still feel slightly reckless. Every season has its own compelling reasons to visit, and most people start planning a return trip before they've even landed back home. Number 8. Germany. Bavaria sets an almost unfair standard straight out of the gate with fairy tale castles and alpine scenery. Add to that a beer culture deeply embedded in local identity, and you have Oktoberfest, which attracts millions of visitors annually just to participate in what locals consider a fairly normal autumn activity. Berlin runs on a completely different frequency, where the weight of recent history sits close enough to the surface that walking around the city feels poignant and educational. Christmas markets in Nuremberg and Cologne pull visitors from across the continent every winter, and German rail makes bouncing between very different regions fast and surprisingly affordable. Number 7. United Kingdom. London swallows the majority of UK visitors and handles the volume with mild indifference. The historical checklist covers serious ground in a compact area, but the food scene, neighborhood character, and arts calendar give longer stays considerably more ammunition than a quick landmarks tour ever suggests. Scotland makes a strong case for pulling people north, and Edinburgh's castle-top skyline alongside the Highlands' raw landscape shares very little DNA with the London tourist circuit. The Cotswolds, Lake District, and Welsh coastline add further range, and the whole country begs you to push past the obvious stops. Rain remains a non-negotiable part of the deal throughout, so pack accordingly. Number 6. Mexico. Mexico pulls visitors in several directions simultaneously, which explains the numbers. Beach resorts along the Yucatan and Pacific coasts absorb enormous crowds, while colonial cities like Oaxaca, San Miguel de Allende, and Guanajuato attract travelers chasing history, food culture, and architectural character that no resort strip ever comes close to matching. Mayan ruins at Chichen Itza, Tulum, and Palenque add even more archaeological muscle. Mexico City surprises almost everyone who treats it as a brief stopover before heading to the coast. World-class museums, extraordinary food markets, and neighborhoods running on strong individual personalities make the capital worth several days at a minimum. Number 5. Italy. 58 million visitors suggest Italy cracked some universal travel code, which it basically did. Rome, Florence, and Venice collect tourists efficiently, and the art density justifies every single one of them. The Vatican museums, Uffizi Gallery, and approximately 10,000 churches collectively hold more cultural significance per square kilometer than anywhere else on the planet. And that's before the food conversation even starts. Regional cooking varies dramatically between north and south. Neapolitan pizza, Bolognese ragu, Venetian cicchetti, and Sicilian street food all belong to the same country, which seems almost greedy. The Amalfi Coast, Tuscan hills, and Dolomites just pile on at that point. Number 4. Turkey. Istanbul, the city straddles 2 continents, packs the Hagia Sophia, Grand Bazaar, and Bosphorus waterway into a walkable core. Add to that some bizarre shopping and a Galata tower climb, and you have an action-packed day. But be warned, the food scene runs deep enough to derail even the most disciplined sightseeing schedule. Cappadocia then goes and offers something no other destination on this list can touch: hot air balloon rides over a volcanic landscape of fairy chimneys and cave dwellings. The turquoise coast stretches across hundreds of kilometers of Aegean and Mediterranean shoreline, with ancient ruins sitting directly above beaches, which feels almost excessive. Number 3, United States. 72 million international visitors arrived in America last year, and collectively saw a fraction of what the country actually contains. New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago handle most of the attention, but the geographic range here turns a single country trip into something closer to a continental expedition. National parks alone constitute an entirely separate travel category, covering Alaskan wilderness, Utah canyon country, and Hawaiian volcanic landscapes under one very large flag. The cultural variety is almost disorienting. New Orleans shares no DNA with Seattle. Santa Fe operates on completely different logic than Miami, and rural Montana feels like a different planet from Manhattan. Most international visitors leave with a list of places they didn't get to that's longer than the original itinerary. Number 2, Spain. 94 million people chose Spain last year, and the country absorbed them with confidence. Barcelona, Madrid, and Seville form the backbone of most itineraries, each running on distinct architecture, food culture, and a nightlife schedule that treats dinner before 9 p.m. as an endearing tourist quirk worth gently correcting. The Balearic Islands and Costa del Sol are bursting at the seams, with pale bodies spilling into the clear blue Mediterranean water. The Basque Country, Galicia, and Andalusia reward travelers chasing regional cooking traditions that run deep. High-speed rail makes city hopping fast and affordable, and Spain has an almost unfair consistency of quality across food, architecture, and weather that keeps pushing it to the top of European travel lists year after year. Number 1, France. 102 million visitors makes France the most visited country on Earth by a massive margin. Paris does most of the heavy lifting, delivering art, food, architecture, and atmosphere in quantities that justify the crowds, the queues, and the occasional Parisian waiter who makes you feel slightly unwelcome for not speaking better French. The rest of the country then quietly outdoes itself. Provence's hilltop villages, the Loire Valley's chateau circuit, Bordeaux's wine country, and the French Riviera collectively describe a place that never runs out of material. France